All right, we're going to run through this quick tutorial on how to discuss movies to help you with the 3 film discussions. Let's get into it. Here's tips for watching the film. Make sure you got a very comfortable area that you're going to watch it in. Before you start, I would recommend going to imdb.com to look at the film details. We have Netflix that I use as a source. You do not have to use that. You can look for other online options to rent the film, borrow the film, go to a library, get the film, whatever works out. If it's available, you'll want to take notes so you can use the film terms properly, and that means you should know the characters. The IMDb will help you with character names, and so you know them a little bit better in case you don't catch all of them when you watch the film. Note the timeline as you watch the movie. So as the time clicks along, you'll say 10 minutes, this happened, 20 minutes, that happened, 1 hour, 20 minutes, the conclusion happens, that type of thing. That will help me center in on the moment you're using. So it may take several viewings for the difficult films. The first one is not too bad, but it all depends on how you watch the film, if you get interrupted, that type of thing. So plan ahead, avoid interruptions, really concentrate on the film. So one viewing might do it for you. That will be very important for getting through it and having a good experience. So let's look at an example of film details. For instance, I picked an old film from 1955 as my example, To Catch a Thief. You, of course, will be watching a different movie. It was made and released in 1955. It ran 1 hour 46 minutes or 106 minutes. You could do either way. That'll help you keep referencing the timeline. The genre is a thriller, it is a mystery, and it has some romance. So all 3 can work for you. Alfred Hitchcock was the director. Make note of that. You can use that sometimes to help you. Cary Grant is the main actor. This is his character name, John Roby. Grace Kelly is Frances Stevens, and there are, of course, many other actors. Note the ones you would think would help you as you watch it. First is the discussion. It's in D2L under Discuss, and you do that through the communication area. Every group member is put into a certain group with 2 or 3 others, depends on the semester, and you should all contribute to the discussion board. Write down your main thoughts. Someone can respond to them. You can respond to theirs. You start building up a good knowledge of the movie and how others thought of it. And you, as you watch it, you target those specific moments that help support the discussion points you're making. Use a film term. That'll help everybody learn them and help you understand what they learned from it. Be specific on the film moments. Use that specific time it happened so everybody knows it. Use film terms. The grade goes up when you do that. Reference characters by name. Don't just say that fella that did this. Sometimes they won't use a name for some characters, and that will change it, but that's what you should look for. Add to the discussion. Just don't put in one entry. You won't get a good grade for the 10 points. And learn from others so you can write better about it. You don't have to agree with their points, but you can use it to your advantage. Don't argue a point. Just move on and say, yes, I can see your point, or I know that could happen. Make it enjoyable, and it will help you get along. Paper is worth 40 points. Each person gets an individual grade for that. You'll get spelling and grammar. That's very important. So if you spell a name wrong, I'll be considerate of that, because that can change with the source, and sometimes you don't quite get it right. I'm not going to take points off for that, but I will anytime you misuse a term. Error in fact, you have the wrong actor or character. Those will all lose you points. You hit on the key categories that are impacting the film. Okay, the discussion categories. Each one is important. First, there's the theme and message. That's category 1. Write one sentence that supports your point about what you thought the message was, and we'll go through that a little bit more. Mise-en-scène is frame composition. You look at lighting, framing, and sound to see how that impacted the moment. Editing is arrangement of shots, And there'll be more types of editing, but right now you're looking for how each shot is cut and put together to create impact. Culture involves how people are living at the time, their roles, how they're represented in the movie as far as maybe gender. Men are looked at as powerful, women are looked as weak. Social status, maybe some are rich, some are poor, others are middle class. Stereotyping, do they make women look weak, insignificant, scared all the time? A negative impression, in other words. And what time period is it? Is it represented well? Do you see why they did it that way? Symbolism will be props or images or shadows. You can do a very basic look here where white usually equals good, black is usually evil, and then there's many others like blue means cool, red means passion or danger, that type of thing. So be conscious of that for all these areas, but we'll go through them a little bit more. When you take notes, note what you think the message is, like crime doesn't pay. That's very basic here. You'd want more than that, but that's the way you get going on it. And it might say that they always make certain people look like criminals. Or if they're poor, they're more likely to steal, that kind of thing. Then you watch how it develops and watch for the points that create a theme or message to you. You write that down with one supporting moment or several, and that'll help your grade. So for lighting, sound, and framing, watch for how they're used to show any kind of significant moment. So the lighting is usually very key, but sound is always important. Do they play music that makes it look like it's scary? That type of thing. Editing, how are the shots put together? Do they follow in a logical sequence? Do they make you scared because of how they edit the shots? That type of thing. Culture, is the time period represented? Are there stereotypes? What's the gender issues that you notice? Symbolism, watch for props. Look at the shading that goes on the face or in the background. Reflection from a mirror. All that can be symbolism, and of course there's much more. For your groups, when you start a discussion, there'll be 2 or 3 other people besides yourself. You'll go in and write what you thought was positive and negative in different categories. So think of 3 moments as you're going through that can really solidify your message in one of the other categories as you move through it. Share your message of what you thought the film meant. Learn from others. They can actually help you go beyond what you thought the message was, or you can see their point, adjust it a little bit, add more content to your message, that type of thing. Ask them about what you thought they saw about symbolism and culture. You saw this. Did they see anything else? The 2 or 3 comments can add together to give you a different perspective and help you write your paper better. Paper length, it can be just a page, single-spaced. You pick 4 of the 5 categories for those 40 points. So 10 points per category to go with the 10 points of the discussion equals 50. And look to start with at least one film example, the strongest one you saw that can support that category point. If you want a better grade, you would do 2 or 3. That will help. You don't have to write that much. You don't have to write a book, but what you do write has to relate to it, and you use film terms that can make a difference. And you can note what other students have mentioned in the discussion. I thought this, but so-and-so thought that, which I thought was a good point, and then mix them together to show that you're really growing from the opportunity. And final thoughts. Don't miss the deadline. If you're going to miss it for some personal reason, family issue, vacation, work, send me a note, tell me the situation. We'll try to find another deadline for you. Don't forget that the discussion board is important. If you do not discuss it in D2L, you're going to lose 10 points. Think of the 3 most significant moments so you can put those in the paper. Make sure that you save the paper to the Dropbox. Put your name on the file just in case, and make sure it's the right Dropbox. I will go looking in the others in case something's missing, but it's important that you get it in the right area. 0 points means that something might have gone wrong. You filed the paper, but you get a 0. That means I didn't see it. lost, we have to work out how that can be done. So there you have a quick discussion review for you. I know you may have more questions and thoughts. You can easily get a hold of me and say, what about this? Or what if a student doesn't participate? If someone in the group is not adding to the content, just keep writing your thoughts in, do your part. Don't worry about them. Don't wait too long. Just get your part done and move on to the paper so you can get it done. Okay, but once again, contact me if you have questions.